Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode, we're going to talk about a huge what if that I haven't seen anybody bring up yet. Now this isn't going to be a terribly long video, it's just kind of a question I had bouncing around in my head, and I kind of wanted to share with you guys and see what you guys think. Now the what if is, what if Jim Cornette is CM Punk's manager at Wrestlemania? And hear me out, I know the arguments against it. Jim Cornette has famously said he doesn't really want to work in the wrestling business anymore. The WWE hasn't seemed to want to roll out that red carpet for him. He's kind of a polarizing figure. However, to counter those points, if you listen to Jim Cornette's podcasts, which I do, he has been very favorable of CM Punk. And there's an obvious friendship, mutual appreciation society going on here. I do think that if you enticed him with being CM Punk's manager at the main event of WrestleMania, which we know it's going to be the main event, most likely of night one, CM Punk's manager at the main event, going up against one of his old rivals and another guy that he praises regularly, Paul Heyman, a guy that he's had pretty much 35 years of a somewhat rivalry with, a somewhat yin and yang of the two. I think he might just take that. I think he might just do it. If for nothing else, it drives views to his podcast, which is already one of the most, if not the most popular wrestling podcasts in the world. Now, what got me thinking of this is at the time of taping just a couple nights ago, we seen the contract signing, we seen the emotional moment, which I kind of think was real, between two real-life friends, Paul Heyman and CM Punk, realizing that CM Punk is getting his childhood dream to be in the main event of WrestleMania, something that he's wanted his whole career and has not been shy about saying that. But after he signs, he says, "That's not the favor you owe me." Interesting that he mentioned that. What if the favor is Paul Heyman uses his political stroke to help get somebody back in WWE that we haven't seen in a while, even if it's just for one night? Now, obviously, again, there are the hurdles. Who knows if this is where they're going, which I doubt this is where they're going, but it would damn sure be interesting. Some of the groundwork has been laid already there. In that same night, CM Punk mentioned Louisville, Kentucky. And if you know anything about CM Punk, everything he says has a meaning. Nothing is throwaway. What's in Louisville, Kentucky? Jim Cornette, Ohio Valley Wrestling. CM Punk, when he came to the WWE, went through Ohio Valley Wrestling, albeit just a couple weeks after Cornette was fired from the company, but he still has ties to Ohio Valley Wrestling, which at one point was ran by Jim Cornette. And at the time Punk was there, ran by Heyman and Danny Davis. Danny Davis, one of Cornette's biggest friends in the wrestling world. There's even emails that both of them have talked about before Punk came in, with Cornette saying how excited he was to work with CM Punk. And as far as I know, and as far as I can remember, I don't think I've ever seen these two interact on television, which makes it one of those things that the world is waiting to see. There have been other instances where Cornette has been mentioned on WWE TV or referenced. Pat McAfee has referenced him. CM Punk has referenced him to Pat McAfee when he talked about Pat McAfee's podcast being good, but he's more of a drive-through and experience guy, which are the two Jim Cornette podcasts. Adam Pearce wore a suit that was very Cornette reminiscent and even said as much. So I think there's some breadcrumbs. I don't know if that's what they're laying the breadcrumbs for. They're just giving props to a guy that a lot of people consider, if nothing else, one of the great managers in wrestling and one of the great minds in wrestling history. I just kind of wanted to throw this out here because I didn't see anybody talking about this. I don't think it's actually going to happen, but what if it does happen? How awesome would that be? We all know, and especially just recently, Punk is still taking some jabs at Tony Khan and AEW and how that worked out. To be honest, he's a little bit petty with what he's doing, and for AEW, their number one villain as far as in the fans' eyes has been Jim Cornette since the beginning. Whether he was right about someone in AEW or wrong about someone in AEW, he's not been well liked by the fans, and you gotta imagine a certain portion of the wrestlers. I can't think that Jon Moxley, the Young Bucks, Orange Cassidy, other high-profile wrestlers in the company think highly of Cornette. So yeah, maybe this is another way to stick it to AEW. Here's your two biggest villains, CM Punk and Jim Cornette. But anyway, I think it would be awesome, if for nothing else, to see Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman managing against each other once again. It's one of those dream matchups or dream opponents that only wrestling can provide. In wrestling, you can't see Nolan Ryan versus Babe Ruth because they played in two different eras. You can't see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar going up against Victor Wembanyama because two different eras. But in wrestling, you can see the legends go against each other. I don't know, I just think it would be an awesome thing. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's possible? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm out of my mind? Would you enjoy this? Let me know down here in the comments. While you're there, smash the like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and you've been watching Heel Heat.